Hello, 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 Cat Mojo tears. Let's have a Cat Mojo-rific time today. It's Jackson Galaxy singing my name. Well, that was like the weirdest beginning to a video that I've done in quite a long time, which is appropriate because today we're going to be talking about some of the weirdest, strangest cat behaviors and explain them to you. When you guys recognize me in the street or wherever, less often it's like, hey, let's take a selfie together, and more it's like, Jackson, will you explain this to me? Can you explain why my cat does this? So, I figure with this video, I'll just be getting it out of the way. So the next time you come up to me, I'll be like, listen, I'll take a selfie with you, but if you're gonna ask me about a weird behavior, I got a video for that. No, seriously. What we're gonna start with today is, which one shall I pick? You know what, I'm just gonna go by the first one that comes off the top of my head. The first one is, why do cats knock stuff off the table, the shelf, the mantle, anything, fill in the blank? Why does your cat do it? Because they're bored. One of the great things is once they do it once and they knock something off and there's that, ooh, what? And it made a noise when it hit the ground too. Then they're gonna just keep doing it. So play with your cat. Make sure that you're doing it in a scheduled way, because one thing that you probably will notice is that when your cat is doing that, it's probably at similar times during the day, and that lets you know at that time of day, cat energy is up, you should be playing with your cat. If you've got anything up on the shelves or the mantles or whatever that you don't want knocked over, then museum putty is a great cure for that. Museum putty. Living in California, the land of the earthquake, I can tell you that museum putty's everywhere, and it's basically something you put underneath. It doesn't destroy the shelving itself, but that stuff's not going anywhere. So your cat can just be like this, and it just won't move. So the next one is what I call the cat hug. I call it the cat hug, but I've also called it the sea otter position before. Allow me to demonstrate. Your cat is laying on the floor, belly up, just looking at you, or looking at whatever, or they're sleeping that way, or whatever. You should take this as a compliment, because the cat hug, and I call it the cat hug because it's your cat's way of showing you that they love you, that they feel safe, and for an animal that is both prey and predator, the idea of feeling vulnerable is a real big compliment. So when I say vulnerable, and you take an animal who out there, they are prey and predator, which means that not only are they looking to hunt all the time, but they're also head on a swivel because they're being hunted as well. And so for a cat to expose their midline, their belly, to anything coming up to them is an invitation to murder for the most part. So if they're doing that to you in your home, that lets you know that I'm going against my nature right now in order to show you that I feel safe around you. Well, I'm having altogether too much fun with this, because with every one of these, I'm envisioning it happening in a very cartoony way, because if you don't know me, that's how my brain works. Here, you want to take a look at my brain? See? It's a fun world in there. And as part of that fun world is our next weird behavior, which is, if it fits, I sits. And that should sort of generate some kind of cartoon in your mind about a cat sitting in like a tissue box, a shoe box, or name the box, and your cat's in it. And usually you look at it and you go, that just doesn't that just doesn't look comfortable, What is the explanation for if it fits, I sits? Mainly, there's a part in the sort of the reptilian part of your cat's brain that just needs to feel safe. And one of the things about a box is that your cat can feel somewhat covered. So they know that in terms of their raw cat, their ancestral cat that's always sort of speaking to them as they exist in your world right now, is they have to listen to that. Okay, I have to stay camouflaged, I have to stay small. So there's that. There's also the fact that it helps them conserve body heat. And then there's the fact that it can be a lot of fun. Just hopping from box to box and okay, I'm in one box, now I'm gonna go someplace else, and then you're looking there and you go, there's no way that you could have gotten in there. And your cat then goes, if it fits, I sits. With a lot of these, I think to myself, this would be really weird for someone who's never hung out with a cat before, who has no idea what cat is about. So a lot of these things on this list are for those sort of the cat curious. Like, I just saw a cat do this, and I don't know, I've never had a cat before. I don't know what are you doing right now? And I think one of the big ones on this list that apply to the cat neophyte would be what we call, well, there's a lot of words for it. One word is the smurgle. Or there is the kneading, the making biscuits, the making bread. Oh my God, there's so many words for this thing, but it's this, you know? And they could be doing it on a blanket or on a bed or on you, or even making air biscuits. That is very purely a leftover behavior from kittenhood, from early kittenhood. How early? Like right away early. Like when they're born and they're blind and they're deaf, but they know how to get to mom's belly and they know that they need to get the milk from mom's belly. What do? They stimulate that milk to come out, just like that. So as they get older, they will do this because it reminds them of that safety and that primal kind of relationship between them and their mom. But again, that's a compliment. If your cat is sleeping with you and making biscuits on your shirt or making biscuits on something that smells like you, like your blanket or something, that is that primal relationship association coming back to them because it smells like you. So you are mom. Congratulations. You are now a cat mom or dad officially, because that association of kitten to mom is on display with their smurgle. So happy smurgling to you. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a hint about this next. So if I give you a hint, then you get to guess what this next strange behavior is in cats. Ready? Okay, listen closely. What is it?
The zoomies?
The zoomies! He got it! All right, it's the zoomies. What are the zoomies? A manifestation of like the sleep cycle and the energy cycle of cat with a capital C, the raw cat. Because that also explains why cats sleep so much. They sleep so much because they're gearing up for the hunt. So then when they wake up and they've just, okay, the balloon is full. Let's do something. And then there's just nothing to do with that body. That body just has nothing to hunt, and off they go, just running all over the place, hanging from the chandeliers, just you know, going as vertical as they can. Anyway, that's the zoomies. It's totally normal. If your cats are doing the zoomies at a time where you're not zooming, where your family's not really active, that you're possibly asleep or you're gearing down for the night or whatever, there's a very simple way to approach that. It shows you that your circadian rhythm, your body clock, and your cat's body clock are just out of sync. And you can get that synced in, and I'll link to some videos that talk all about getting the body clock set. But through feeding meals, not free feeding, because don't forget, one of the things that may contribute to the zoomies is grazing on food, especially dry food, which converts to sugar really fast in your cat's system, and kabang, they're off. So now we're down to feeding meals and playing on a schedule every day. And if you just get that energy out when they eat, feed those meals like, 3 times at least a day, you're going to start seeing a rhythm that coincides with yours. You got to give it a little bit of time. But, look, the zoomies are cute, they're fun to watch, but nobody, me included, likes to hear, like, the freight train go through the living room at 3 o'clock in the morning, so there's something you can do about it. Hey, come on, buddy. What? Come on, get out of the way. Come on, man, I got work to do. You know where I'm going? This is our next weird behavior. Why do cats do that? Why do they sit on your keyboard? Why do they hog monitor space? Why do they sit on top of your closed computer, anywhere near you? Well, because pay attention to me. Like, hey, buddy. But it's also a desire to be with you, near you. Now, the other reason why cats might be attracted to things, especially if they're electronic, is that they're warm. And cats are just heat-seeking missiles. They just look for anything. That's why cats are always seeking out the sun. We also talked about cats sitting in boxes. Whatever generates heat is good by a cat. You fix that problem by giving them an appropriate heated surface. There are cat beds that you plug in. There are other beds that they have a layer of mylar underneath them. In fact, I make one of those beds, link in description. So when they sit on it, it reflects body heat back to them and warms them up. And then there's the other secret part of it. Let's say that here I'm sitting at my computer. It would be killer if near me, either on my desk or near my desk, maybe you have a side table where you can put a bed. So now we've got two things going on. Your cat is got proximity to you, you can pay attention to them, and they're warm. So why do cats chew on plastic bags? Well, and the easiest sort of low-hanging cat fruit reason is that crinkles are fun. And that's why we make toys that crinkle. Those sounds are attractive to a cat. Depending on the crinkability of the bag, yes, that's a word. And in which case we know that your cat likes to play then with crinkly things. Get crinkly things, and not the crinkly thing that was laying on the floor. A lot of bags are treated with stearates. Stearates are derived from animal fat, and so it smells like animal product to them. Anyway, their sense of smell is so incredible that they can smell the animal product on that bag, and so they start chomping on it. Also, some bags are treated with fish oil or even fish scales, which keeps the bags from sticking together. So that's another reason why your cat would smell it. They go, oh, it's a fishy treat. Now the third reason, and the more problematic reason why a cat might chew on a bag, would be a condition called pica. Technically it means the eating of undigestible objects. It's just anything that's non-edible that they're actually eating. It's a real OCD type of behavior. Once it starts, it's really hard to stop them. The best thing to do is to pica-proof your house. Whatever your cat likes to chew on, or that thing that really just triggers them to chew, put it away. Get it away, one way or another. Don't leave plastic bags on the floor. No matter how cute it might seem, it's just not good for them. Plastic bags are not cool to have around cats. They can suffocate around plastic bags. If they love being in bags, then get paper bags, you know? They could do the if it fits, I sits inside of a paper bag, but not a plastic one. So this is another behavior strange, especially to folks who've never seen cats or observed cats before. But for someone who's like, what is this thing you call, oh, what's that cat doing, you know? We'll call it radar ears for now. So radar ears are when your cat is looking straight at you. I'm your cat, I'm looking straight at you, and suddenly my ears go whoop, or whoop, or whoop, whoop, like that. What are radar ears about? Well, using the word radar kind of helps to describe it. It's to basically, again, remembering cat is in the middle of the food chain, predator and prey. So they're always looking to kill something, and they're always looking to not be killed by something. The cone part of the ears, these are this is a pinna. These are pinnae when they're plural, pinnae. So the pinnae are controlled by 32 tiny, tiny little muscles. And those muscles can move independent, cause the pinnae to be able to rotate independently in order to catch the sound of, wait, I hear a mouse back there, and they can rotate 180 degrees. That mouse behind me, or oh, mountain lion behind me, gotta run. You know, either way, I am maximizing my hearing, and cats' hearing skills are already off the charts amazing, but by doing this, they can up the range of their hearing up to about 30%. So for this next one, we are going to, okay, so I want you to see if this weird behavior is something you've seen in your cat. Ready? A casual word for that is stink face. Check out this video over my head, all about stink face. So I'm not going to go into great detail about it, but it's also called the Fleming's response. If they smell something that they really have to gather up more information about because it's just something that's that important to them, then this thing called the Jacobson's organ, our hair, in the palate, that Jacobson's organ is a secondary way of gathering scent. So that's why they're going to come up, I guess, because they've been using the Jacobson's organ and they're doing the Fleming's response. The time we see that the most is around, unfortunately, things like cat pee. Urine is really, or feces, those are the kind of things that cats are really going to go after and try to get a lot of scent off of, because it's important territorially. It's of paramount importance. That way of collecting scent, again, everything pertains to staying alive, defending territory, you know, really the things that define what is cat, but territorial security is right up there. So smelling something that has either male or female hormones in it, or just something as simple as urine or feces, anything that really holds the identity of another animal in it, let's just put it that way, the smell identity of another animal, then that's when stink face might happen. So it's not your cat just pulling a, you know, like a Freddy Krueger and like just trying to freak you out. It is actually explainable, and I just did. And the number one strangest cat behavior, because this is the one I hear about all the time, which is, why does my cat get up on my chest and put his butt right there? So what is the explanation behind that sort of egregious cat behavior? Well, you should take it as a compliment. In fact, I call it the back-ended compliment. I worked hard on that one. But the back-ended compliment derives from when cats are little baby kittens, and when they're really, really young and they're just getting mobile and everything, mom has to stimulate them to pee or poop after they've eaten. So they are used to going up to mom. At first, mom will just go up to them and stimulate them to go with her tongue. Well, then, as they get a little older, it becomes this sort of kitten parade by mom, and they walk by her like that. She cleans them, they move on. I'm not suggesting anything, I'm just giving you an explanation. If your cat just walks up to you and back-ended compliment right in your face while you're laying down, it's just saying that I see you as my mom. Where if I'm laying and their butt's in my face, I just pick them up with one hand and go, whoop, hey, this is the way we do it in civilized culture, cat. Alrighty then. Well, that wraps it up. I mean, man, that was a lot. That was a lot of weird behaviors, but I'm sure you got more. Positively sure that before this video is even done premiering, somebody's going to be typing going, you forgot. Hey, Jackson, come on, man. Tell me. Put it in the comments. I want to see it. I want to answer it. Who knows, maybe there's going to be a volume 2 to this whole thing. All right. In the meantime, please subscribe to this channel, because subscriptions and likes and all that kind of fun stuff and comments, that's what makes the world go around on this channel. It's what keeps us ticking along. So please do that. And don't forget to send in, whether it's cute cat stuff or your questions. Jackson, what's this? What's my cat doing? All you got to do is film it on your little camera. What's my cat doing? Then film yourself going, Jackson, what is that? And then send it to this link right here, right there. And who knows, there's a decent chance, you know, that I'll answer it. All right, you guys, until next time, all light and all love, all mojo to you. Next.
That'd be a good t-shirt. Don't pet the belly.
Don't pet the belly. And just put it on me. Don't pet the belly. Minu likes to do the whole Pillsbury Doughboy thing with me. And then gets angry if I don't do hee hee hee. Meow.